Did Bloomberg just build their own internal ChatGPT specifically for finance? And what does that mean for finance? But more importantly, what does that mean for other industries and more domain-specific large language models similar to what Bloomberg is trying to do in finance? But first, let's get into the news here. This is the paper that Bloomberg dropped last week called Bloomberg GPT, a large language model for finance. They talk about building a ChatGPT-like model, so a large language model that's trained on 50% publicly available data sets and 50% financial data sets, which Bloomberg is bringing to the table. So this is proprietary data that Bloomberg has that they're training on, and that's going to be really important. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in just a bit. So it seems that the way that they are benchmarking this, the end output, the end result, this Bloomberg GPT does good on general tasks, but does really, really good on financial tasks or financial prompts, such as take this headline, tell me what the sentiment analysis is from the article, tell me whether or not the stock is going to trade up or trade down. So that's a really big deal. Why this is important for finance? One is I think you're going to have a world where different companies are going to have their own large language model where they can leverage their proprietary data set, but also leverage that model to improve the user experience for their customers within their ecosystem. So for example, Bloomberg, if you ever use a Bloomberg, which I have a lot of experience with Bloomberg, it's basically a language or a programming language that you have to learn. If you want to go to a stock, there's a particular syntax that you have to type in. If you want to analyze that stock, there's a certain command, and it has a steep learning curve. Now imagine if you can go into a Bloomberg terminal and just speak out what you want. For example, you might just give your Bloomberg terminal a request to put together a basket of stocks that is hyper resistant to a stagflationary type of environment, and your Bloomberg will go out and do all the analysis and give you that basket of stocks for you to trade. So that's the potential of what I call Chat UX, and you can learn more about that. There's another video that I put together on Chat UX in my timeline. You can check that out. But this is a big deal because I think it's going to be a sign of more things to come, more companies training their own large language models for two reasons. One, it is a way to monetize proprietary data sets. The edge that large language models are going to have over one another is access to data. So if you're a company and you have access to a lot of your own data that's been cultivated and curated over a period of time and you want to monetize that, one way is going to be to build your own large language model. And the other reason why it's going to be important is because of the UX experience that I just mentioned earlier. The fact that you can make that more streamlined and you can create a better user experience because you have your own internal large language model to leverage, that's going to be really, really important. Now, do you have to go out and build your own model like Bloomberg GPT here? I'm not sure. That's to be determined, but I think that if you do want to leverage your own proprietary data set, you might have to do that. In any respect, keep an eye out because you're going to see more companies come out and announce that they're building their own large language model for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. Tell me what you think. Do you think that this is going to be a big deal for finance? Do you think that is feasible for companies to build their own large language models, and that's a route that companies should go, or should they just outsource it? I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your questions. Drop them below in the comments section. Thanks. Have a good day.